All right. Well, thank you very much. This is Khanster. We're actually doing commentary for him. He'll be just silent the whole run. My name's Doysum. I have two other commentaries here with me. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Chaos
my
Max.
name is...
Sorry.
Go first.
My name is Chaos Max.
My name is Timelink. I run a whole lot of Mega Man, including this one occasionally.
All right. We're going to go ahead and do the countdown here. Khanster, go ahead and get ready. We're going to start the countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Khanster is playing it looks like on the ZX collection that was recently released for multiple platforms. And there's not many differences between the two versions since both use in-game time anyway to track it. So there won't be too many differences to account for. But we are playing on the Japanese version, which will have some differences from the English version.
Yeah, right off the bat, we are here in Area A. ZX has a giant, almost entirely interconnected hub world, and we're thrown in with Model X, which is actually pretty powerful, although we don't get to keep it for too long, and we immediately encounter our first boss, Giga Spees. Now, this model has a double shot akin to X's second armor from Mega Man X2, and Khanster's going to be pretty much camping the Snake's head, try to get these double charges in as quickly as possible because the first one doesn't inflict iframes, and we're immediately out of what's basically the tutorial of the game. Now, moving on, we're gonna get a choice here, basically. We can accept one of two missions. Either we go and rescue Jiro, who is basically our protagonist's adoptive father that we lost in the intro cutscene, or we go and try and pass a test that the Guardians, which are these guys you just barely saw in the room, they gave us. And for routing purposes, it happens to work out better that we do the Guardian test first, because that takes us through Area C, which is the city, and then we can take a slightly faster route to Area B later, which is the mountainside where we rescue Jiro. For this mission, we are just going to talk to all of these Guardians, starting from the very left, and then there are 4 Guardians in total. Unlike humans in the city, we can talk to Guardians while Mega Merged, which means in Ales in our case, Reploid form, but we are gonna have to unmerge to get through crawl spaces like this, for instance, and that's basically the reason we pick Ale over Vent as the playable character, just because she has faster crawling speed. There are other minor differences, like she takes more knockback, I believe, but it's pretty negligible over the run.
Yeah, and so she's going through. There is one certain Guardian you will have to be on transport for, and it's the one coming up right here. But before that, it looks like Khanster's charging up to take out these Mets beforehand, and then right before Elle gets to the Guardian, she transforms back into the human form, talks to him, and stays on transform because coming out this door, she's going to be crawling again here.
I noticed he's doing the Mega Merge via the old way, or maybe the only way. Does this game use the Switch's extra buttons to do faster Mega Merging, or no?
I believe that was only in ZX Advent, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the fastest way to switch models in ZX.
Yeah, in ZX Advent, you can actually use the bottom screen to switch and Mega Merge.
Yeah, for this game, the bottom screen doesn't have too much important information. We'll be referencing it occasionally. But yeah, for now, we've already completed this mission, and we're receiving a stuffed animal right here as a token and proof that we've done it. And so we can confirm we've done the mission right here, receive our 200 E-Crystal reward, and from here, from this terminal, we can immediately accept the next mission, and we're gonna go right into Area D, which we're not really supposed to be at yet, but this area is a very convenient shortcut to the very, very back of Area B, and for this mission, we're supposed to be collecting these data chips throughout Area B, but if we start from the very back, we actually only have to collect the very last one that's on the left side of this section, and that'll trigger a cutscene with Prairie, and we can immediately go back to the right and fight the boss, and we never have to bother getting the other 3 data chips.
Yeah, so coming up the boss here, it's going to come up really soon, is the, I don't know what you call it, the helicopter fight, the copter something?
Its official name is Rayfly.
Rayfly? Okay. This fight, there are 2 ways to do this fight. There's a 3-phase and the 4-phase. And the 3-phase is pretty precise in getting it taken out. Looks like he's going for the 3-phase fight, where you have to hit a certain crate that this guy drops down and have to ricochet those crates up to the boss. And you do this 4 times in order to take it out. Looks like he actually got the extra hit in there that would be used in the 3-phase. But we'll still have to do 4 phases here.
Unfortunate. This is quite bad.
So
Yeah,
there is
looks like
some
it'll be
danger in going for the 3-phase. The boss does have iframes if one of your shots hits him rather than the crates do. And your shots do less, like half the damage that a crate would, which would increase the amount of phases you would have to do normally.
Yeah.
So
after
we're
we've
gonna
done both of these missions, the Guardians grant us access to Area X, which is the only one that's not connected with the entire rest of the map. You have to teleport to get there. And we're gonna be watching a few quick cutscenes and then moving right on to Area D, which we already saw a sneak peek of, but it's actually an area we're gonna visit a whole bunch throughout the game, because we have to go through there to reach other areas fairly frequently.
So fortunately, they just warp you straight to the beginning of Area D here, and you just progress through the area like normal. There is a trick that Khanster will be using on some of these wall kicks here, where if you fire right after you do a wall kick, you'll keep your vertical momentum, but you won't move horizontally, and that can enable you to do faster wall kicking. Right here, he grabbed a health upgrade. That's just for safety. It's not really required, but it definitely helps because it's such a quick upgrade to get, and also has a full health right there to grab too.
Yeah, D2 is pretty standard, but this layout and some of these enemy choices, in particular the mid-bosses, are actually reminiscent of the first game in the X series. We have these B-Blader impersonators here. They're relatively easy to take down in this game without damage boosting as well. All it takes is 2 double charges and a couple of lemons in there. You want to be at their backside when you defeat them so that you don't go down with the floor, as you saw it collapse with the last one, and you can move on swiftly for the rest of Area D.
This stage is basically a level editor to Mega Man X1's intro stage. It's the same thing with very slight variations, and I love it.
Yeah, and at the end, this time we don't get Vile, we basically fight Zero. We fight the Model Z holder, which is Jiro. He's actually under mind control by one of the villain's little tricks, and well, now we're fighting against him despite him being a very close person to us. The Jiro fight is not very difficult, usually ends quickly with a handful of double charges. Yeah, you saw Khanster make quick and easy work of him. So, that grants us access to the main quote-unquote Maverick selection of this game. The equivalent in this game is called the Pseudoroids, and we get access to 4 of them at once right here. We're gonna be taking the mission in Area E, because that one has easily the best reward.
Gives you the Model H Mega Merge that you can do, and that has probably the most versatility and most power in the run. I mean, Model F being a second close there.
So I know we established earlier we won't have Model X anymore. In the quote-unquote New Game Plus, we do keep Model X. Is there any difference speed-wise between the two, or no?
Not much, I don't think. I've rarely ever even seen people doing the New Game Plus equivalent, so I can't directly say. But yeah, it is important to note, when obtaining Jiro's Biometal Model Z, we actually performed a double Mega Merge, and we can now use Model ZX. Model X is now permanently gone for the rest of this playthrough, and so instead of a double charge, we have a single Buster charge, but we also have a saber that we can use in a rolling slash, a triple slash combo, or we can even charge it up. And it's really useful how you can hold charges on both weapons and make really quick work of these stages.
That's very similar to the Z series, where you can have two weapons at a time and charge them both. It's adopted over from that in the ZX series here. So in this stage, there's two ways to do this stage. The first one is slower. You have to go turn off the power, and I think that's intended in casual. You don't have to deal with these electric barriers. But that takes time. We end up just trying to go through them without taking too much damage here, and so that we have enough health for the mid-boss in this area. So coming up here, going through this area really fast, he's going to probably grab this sub-tank up ahead. Again, that's for safety, but it's a big safety. Sub-tanks are really handy in the ZX games. Rather similar to the Z games, where you use a sub-tank and it only uses the amount of health you actually need, as opposed to the X series where it drains the whole sub-tank if you use it. You want to explain this mid-boss here?
Okay, so this is, I think its name is Crush Pactor. Right now, its cannon is protecting its main body down below. What you optimally want to do is get up close and personal and get past that cannon with charge flashes, and you can wiggle back and forth for good damage, but the much easier strat is obviously to take out the cannon and then get damage in as it's not close to you.
So this cutscene, we skip it. That's a very nice thing about being able to do this run, is you can skip every cutscene once you've actually cleared the game on your file. So another benefit to actually disabling electricity is dealing with these traps here that shoot out damaging electrical particles. But we're not doing that because it's slower. Oh yeah, you want to mention slashing energy and stuff, big stuff?
Yeah, so big pickups in this game can actually be slashed with the Z-Saber, and they'll split into a bunch of smaller pickups, like an equal spread of E-crystals, small health and small weapon energy, I believe. And Khanster's using a bunch of this to fill up his sub-tank for safety, and we're coming up on the boss immediately, which hopefully you won't need it here, but this is high vault. This is the first really important point in the run, because our performance on this boss is really important to the run. Essentially, all of the pseudoroids have their respective biometal integrated into a certain part of their body. For high vault, it's the wings, and if you hit that body part, your rank against the boss goes down and the biometal gets damaged, and thus you have less energy for it to use at the end.
Nice.
Khanster did it perfectly and got a level 4
Nice.
finish, so that means he's gonna have the maximum energy for now. If it does get damaged, in an important case like Model H, you can pay to have it repaired later, but that's obviously a bit slow.
So the thing with the levels, so level 4, level 3, level 2, level 1. Level 1 gives you the lowest amount. If you get hit more than twice, that'll bring it down. Well, if you get hit up to 2 times, it brings it down to level 3. More than that, level 2, and even more than that, level 1. So level 4 is fantastic. Level 3 is okay, I think. But you want to keep as much energy as possible, because you use the charge attacks and the overdrive in this run a lot.
Yeah, combined level 8 on Model H is definitely best for the run. So, we've taken a mission in Area G now, which is going to get us Model F. Now, we've been talking a bit about Model HX, it's why it's so good, and I guess we haven't really elaborated on what it does yet, but The reason we're not going to immediately pick up the second half of Model H is actually in the area that it's in, there's a big skip that we need Model F for. So it's more convenient routing-wise to go into Area G and pick up Model F first. As far as what Model H actually does, all of the Pseudoroid biometals are based on the 4 Guardians from the Zero series, so Hapuya, Fefnir, Leviathan, and Phantom are Model H, F, L, and P respectively. And Model H, being based on Hapuya, is Thunder Element, and it has an amazing air dash, including an up air dash, and really powerful dual sabers that we can use in overdrive mode to melt almost everything in the game.
You'll see it soon enough when he fights a lot of these bosses, especially the fire bosses, since the Element Weakness series weaknesses are the same as the Z series, where Thunder is strong against Flame, Flame strong against Aqua, Aqua strong against Thunder, and we're going to a fire boss here with a Thunder Elemental model.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. We are currently revisiting Area D for the first time. We are walking just past this tower we got warped out earlier because that was the place we fought Jiro at in unlocking his convenient teleporter. You saw a bit of a different strat for the Beast this time because we don't have a double buster charge. So Khanster worked in some Saber to still get them down as quickly as before. And this is the first time we're seeing D3. It's not very long, but it does have the passage to Area O later, I believe, and it also connects to Area G, which is the fire site.
So fire site has fire.
Yep.
Yep. You can take out the fire with some of the elemental attacks, like with I think his charge attack, more specifically his overdrive slash.
Model H is also in control of the wind, basically, so a lot of the elemental attacks from Model H will actually disperse the fire as well. But you can see Khanster turning on overdrive here and attacking these fire enemies with the electricity-powered saber slashes and taking them out in a single shot. It's amazing how powerful it is.
Now, I understand you don't need to rescue everyone in the building. How does this work exactly?
That's correct. The route I know is that we basically rescue everyone on floors 3 through 6, and then the door to floor 8 unlocks, and we can use that to progress and not actually visit any of the rest. I don't know exactly how it works, but we basically need to only talk to a certain amount of people. And you can see right here, this time, for humans, to talk to them and rescue them, it's actually necessary to unmerge and become human ale again, because else they'll be too scared to talk to you and they'll try to send you away. So here, for instance, we're gonna go outside the window, talk to this girl, and stay unmerged, boost through the fire so we can still talk to her, and only then go back to HX.
So, sounds like some route differences. Some skip 6, it looks like. I think Khanster may... Yeah, he's skipping 6 here, going straight to 7. Taking the guy there, and that'll give you the key card to the 8th floor that you can use to progress with the level, leaving everybody else to burn in the building.
Yep. They're fine. We're taking a Pseudoroid fast enough to stop the fire from spreading, I promise.
So, he's going through this. He's going to be coming up on Fistleo soon, who is the first Model F holder Pseudoroid. And, well, we'll see if he gets the quick kill or not. He's going to be doing a skip across this room. Normally, you're supposed to go through that window and then go through the other side there, but with Model H, you can just... Model H just has so much versatility. You can just use it to skip so much and jump over high enemies here. So, good use. Yep, just more burning buildings. More execution. This has been an interesting game to learn. Like, I'm still pretty new to this, but, like, there's so much available to it. Anyway, you want to explain this fight?
Okay, so if I recall correctly, Khanster goes for the Elect Ball strat here, which basically means he's going to send out this electric orb immediately and wait for it to hit Fist Leo. And then he's going to do a combo of dash slash and triple slash, all overdrive electricity powered, and that's immediately enough to take out Fist Leo because it's so powerful at base, and Fist Leo is weak to it because of the elemental weakness triangle. And thus we easily get Model F with a nice level 4 victory. It's actually really difficult to not hit Fist Leo's weak spot sometimes. Because it's the spot where the biometal is stored is actually Fist Leo's head. So a lot of the time you'll get a level 3 victory on him, which isn't too relevant. Not as relevant as it is for Model H, but having more Model F energy is really nice as well. We'll be using it the second most.
So yeah, just keep in mind that these bosses, similar to the Z series, the full health bar there, they actually have 2 full health bars. The bosses do. Most of them do. And so keep in mind these doing that much damage in like a second. He's just doing so well with that. So it looks like he's going on to area... What is this? This is the volcano he's headed towards. So area K.
Yeah, there are basically 2 routes for this game, 2 main routes. One of which goes to Flamolfart and actually goes to get the second Model F piece immediately. The other goes to Area F and goes to fight the first Model L boss, Lurere. Now, the advantage of this route, it's slightly slower, I believe, but it gets effectively double the Model F energy for Lurere stage, which we're going to use to melt through some ice blocks and do some interesting strats against the bosses there, and it's really hardly any slower. It's definitely the better route to start out with.
Do I have time to get a donation in?
Certainly.
Yeah.
All right. We have $100 from XR Tech, and Tech says, "Get wrecked, Khanster!" And Tech, if you want to direct that to Mickey or Minnie, to The Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie. We still have that incentive open. Mickey is currently in the lead by $31.38.
All right, thank you for that donation. We just finished the mini boss there, and basically one cycle of attacks with overdrive just destroyed that boss. The boss is only vulnerable if the flame isn't surrounding it, so easy peasy. This section is pretty hard casually to do because you've got a flame wall coming right behind you that's insta-kill. And you have to be able to beat that just by going through. But you're doing a speed run, so you're going to go fast anyway.
Yeah, it's not much of a hindrance to us. Area K is actually relatively short. I believe this is the very last area before Flammo. So we're immediately going to get to that fight, and hopefully, if all goes well, Flammo will go down just about as fast as Fist Leo.
Just need to watch out for those flame pillars coming up. Those are also insta-death.
Yeah.
So this isn't on easy, but...
Alright, let's see this. Nice! Sweet! Flammo can waste a bunch of time by digging through the ground and the ceiling if you don't, like, stun lock him at the very beginning, which can be tight since... unlike in the Zero series, no inputs can be buffered at the start of fights. You actually still have to execute everything manually as the fight starts. So, yeah. It can be easy for Flammo to get away, but excellent performance by Khanster here.
It's also a very difficult fight to get a level 4, and so level 3 is fantastic. I think his arms are where the biometal is stored.
His like, little arm cannons.
It's like his entire body, so that was only getting really 2 hits here was fantastic.
Alright, so now we're going to be going to Area F, and we're going to be fighting said first Ice Boss. And Area F is an interesting one. It definitely has one of the best soundtracks in the game.
That's important.
This game's soundtrack really is composed almost entirely of absolute bangers, but this one in particular always stood out to me.
Yeah, this has a fantastic soundtrack. Also, it's on Spotify if you want to get it.
Neat.
Alright.
Oh, we get to see Model F here.
Okay, Khanster already has a whole bunch of energy for FX, where we immediately need some in F1 to melt some ice blocks, else you have to take passage like above and around these ice faces, which you really don't want. Fortunately, Khanster already has a bunch, and he has a combined level of 7 of energy on Model F, so he hopefully shouldn't have too much ammo problems with that.
Yeah, so this is a weapon that lets you just attack simultaneously. It's really good for mashing later on in the run. And looks like you can use the overdrive to break through the ice there. Really handy. Looks like he's going for another health upgrade. Yeah. So he's getting that health upgrade just as another safety there. That works. He's taking this path upper. There's another path casually you go through if you don't have Model F here, where you have to go under the water, which is slower. Because unless you're Model L, you move slower through water here.
Oh yeah. Right, F3. In my opinion, this is one of the annoying and just one of the most difficult areas in general. I find this one so hard to move through optimally because you have all of these tanky enemies, you have these ice faces and the polar bears in the way. Higher up, you have thin platforms and these moths trying to sprinkle ice dust on you, and
the ice
those
dust
actually
will slow
hinder
you
your
down.
jumps. And then at the very end, usually I come in through the left, but that obviously works too. Very well done.
We got another Crush Pactor. What did you call it?
Yeah, I believe that's its name.
Get that.
It could,
subtype.
okay. Right. I believe there are some strats for this guy that involve using Model F's energy wave, which I should mention, if you pick up 2 halves of a biometal, which we now have for Model F, you actually unlock an additional charge ability. And so if you charge up with Model F and you go to the yellow level and then release while holding down, you'll have this lava wave coming out. And I believe you can use that against the mid-boss as well. Khanster just opted for overdrive mashing, which worked out just fine thanks to his soft tank.
A little slower. Every model has that, so Model H's, which will be used later in the run quite a bit, brings out a tornado when you hold up and release the attack.
Yeah,
Model
we'll be seeing
L's
a
is...
whole lot of that.
Yeah, Model L's is... It looks cool, but it doesn't do much, and then... I don't know what to say about Model P, because it isn't used in the run.
Yeah. Right, this is Lorraine, our first ice boss. Of course, she's severely allergic to fire. And there is some interesting combo potential with the punches here. The easy strat is to just do 2 bullets. But you can actually mix in some of these Megaton punches from Model F as well to speed things up a little. And yeah, Lorraine goes down. She can actually take a while because if you hit her head too much, she'll retract and bring out this giant anglerfish from the side. And then it'll take a while to retract, and for Lorraine, which is actually just the little figure at the very tip of the anglerfish, like the light, to reappear. But yeah, now we are in an intermission in Area X after we've beaten 4 pseudoroids.
So yeah, with this, the bad guys are attacking the ship, and they're going to be sending in different enemies, and one of them's going to be this ship that puts out boxes of reinforcements. I don't know how else to describe that. The goal here is you got 6 different boxes to deal with, and you're supposed to destroy them as fast as possible. The most efficient way at this point is using Model F and just mash and mash and mash it with both trigger buttons. So see how quickly that takes it out. Normally, I guess in my playthrough, I just casually used ZX and took it out however much, but usually 3 or 4 soldiers came out in each box at a time until then.
Yeah, HX is another good option for these with overdrive triple slashes, but the thing is that we need HX for the upcoming boss fight, so we'd rather save our HX energy for that.
Gotta go down the elevator.
Yep.
Got some tricky platforming here. Platforms just explode. Very easy to fall into when you're playing this for the first time.
Yeah.
Very easy to remember on future playthroughs.
Alright, this is Prometheus, and Prometheus happens to, unfortunately for him, be a fire boss, which means Model H completely takes him apart if Khanster does it right, and he's just severely allergic to it. It looks like he didn't quite get the super fast strat at the very start, but Prometheus opens himself up for attack basically immediately after that, and so we were still able to get him down really quickly.
Next mission is going for, I believe, is the second Model H mission, or is it going to be?
So now we're
completely
finally going
selected?
into Area I, which is where we're gonna do a skip with Model F, and we're gonna, I guess, sequence break a bunch and basically go through a bunch of dark paths and immediately end up at the boss. It's kind of a convoluted area casually, even if you have a map of it, especially
Yeah,
trying
it's-
to collect everything, but
This-
we can basically go in through a hole that we can create in those wall over a bed of spikes, so Khanster's gonna damage boost you. And okay, he
Got it.
barely makes it in, breaks that wall open, you don't have much time to do that. And now we're going to be taking a bunch of short straight paths, and we'll end up basically right with the boss.
Yeah, a good part of this stage that we're skipping is like this, where you can have these areas where you can barely see unless you're at Model P and have a wider range. But you have the bottom screen there, which has a map that allows you to navigate the area, also navigate some items or enemies if you're Model P. But now we're at the end of the area. That was it. Normally there's a big area with like an eagle mid-boss that you have to deal with, but you don't have to deal with that if you use that skip with Model F. And this is, I forget his name.
This is Hurricane. This is our second Model H fluid, and as such, it's kind of important which level Khanster gets on this boss. Optimally, of course, we want another level 4 victory, so we have the maximum possible energy. And the Hurricane fight, it can take a while if he does what he's doing right now, going off screen with the tornado. Nice level 4. There is a
Now
strat
he's-
to basically keep him locked down and pinned to the ground. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it, but I suppose we still have another chance later.
Certainly. He's got level 7 on Model H now.
He should have level 8. I think he
Oh,
got,
he got level 4.
though.
Okay.
You got level 4.
Okay, cool. Level
Yeah,
8,
that's
fantastic.
pretty much optimal, which is really, really good.
So, in this run, the Model P missions are done last because the stages are very close to each other, and otherwise it's a lot of backtracking to get to the second part of the Model P stage. So, the second Model P stage specifically. So, we're going to go to the second Model L stage, and to do that, we go back through Area A.
Yeah, the trip back through Area A is somewhat unfortunate. It's quite long. We don't have a teleporter super nearby. It is a decent chance to pick up some ammo for Model H since we just use a ton in this run.
Look
But
at that
effectively
energy bar.
there's this cave on the left side of... Oh, Khanster's picking up the second sub-tank right here.
That's
Interesting,
fantastic.
but very good. There's this little cave at the very left side of Area A1, and it has the entrances to both Area A, or Area J and Area M. So we're gonna need to go through that when getting to those areas. And
Fortunately, it does give us a lot of enemies to kill in the meantime, which gives us more chances for energy drops, which you can use to refill. But yeah, otherwise this is just a slog. Get
yeah,
through.
we want to keep that meter up as much as we can, especially. Now that it's so huge, you would think we never really have to worry about ammo, but honestly, it drains so ridiculously fast when you depend on it. It's crazy.
Especially if you accidentally leave on the overdrive, it just ticks down so fast.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure to toggle that. You only toggle the overdrive when you absolutely need it. Otherwise, it's just wasting it.
Yeah, every time you actually turn on the overdrive, a bar immediately depletes. So like, if you only have one bar left, you basically won't be able to do anything. It's like, I guess it's supposed to de-incentivize like rapidly turning it on and off just when you need it. So you definitely need to know what you're doing and when to turn it on and off. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
Area J. This is almost completely underwater, so we're gonna be using Model L for a lot of it. And yeah, we're coming up on a somewhat annoying mid-boss that unfortunately we'll see again. I believe there is a manipulation for this mid-boss. I
I think
it
it's
looks
the
like Khanster's
second
gonna
one that
go
has
for
the
it.
manipulation,
Um,
because the first one doesn't have a cutscene skip for it.
right.
And we've got another donation in. We got $20 from Duckfist. Great name. And
Hi,
Duckfist
Duckfist.
says, Data Face. And that $20 is going towards Mickey for the Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie. So that will put Mickey around $50 behind still.
Poor Mickey.
Alright. We're past that first annoying mid-boss. Unfortunately, it will come back later. But yeah. Now we are actually almost through Area J. And we're gonna be fighting Leg Anchor soon, the second Model L boss. There are a bunch of ways to fight this guy. You can also work in punches on this fight. But I see people do it less often. Effectively, you can hit the face from the bottom, or you can hit his giant, what even are those? These little turbines at the side, I guess.
It's backpack.
Yeah, it becomes a little problematic when Leg Anchor decides to freeze the walls like that, because you cannot wall jump on the frozen part. So now Khanster is effectively locked to the ground, but that was still a really solid fight.
Very nice. Can be a very difficult boss casually, especially when the just whenever the pins hit you, it just slows you down. The freezing and the extra damage. It's
Yeah.
a very frustrating boss, but Khanster does it beautifully. So he could switch back to Model L to move through the water a little faster there, but then he has to account for transformation, and he's going to beat Model F for a little bit anyway, getting through this next area here.
Yeah.
I forgot
I
to
believe that
mention.
we have a combined level 7 on Model L now, which is not that relevant in the grand scheme of things. I believe you can make do with less. But there are some interesting things we're gonna use Model L for later.
So, as I was gonna say, Khan was frozen today. Lagancia got him once.
Let's trip back through Area J. I believe I've seen some people actually just when beating Leg Anchor go straight back through the previous areas instead of going to J5 and those additional rooms. I don't know if that's faster or slower. I assume faster, but way harder. At least that was my experience when trying it. But yeah, now we can confirm that we've done the mission here, and we are down to one mission left that we can accept for now, and thus it's finally time to start on Model P missions. We're putting these off to the end, both for routing purposes and because Model P just really doesn't do much for us in a speedrun setting.
I wonder, so we're gonna be farming for energy quite a bit as we speedrun. Are we ever gonna get the W tank for safety purposes?
No, I doubt it. I don't even remember what that is. It's probably seriously out of the way.
You need to go to Prairie's room and hit the stuffed animal tons of times for it to pop out.
Yeah. How long does that take? I assume at least like a minute of constantly slashing that thing. I don't assume that Khanster will be going for it. I suppose it is a viable safety option, but I can't remember seeing anyone go for it in a run.
Fair enough.
We're coming up on Area H here. We're going back a little in the alphabet. We're going kind of all over the place, but yeah, Area H is the amusement park where we get to learn a little bit of Ven's or Rail's backstory, depending on which character you chose. I believe the gist of it is that the two are orphans, and they lost their parents in a Maverick raid 10 years ago. And ever since, Jiro has basically become their adoptive father. And now that he's, well, effectively dead, they carry on his legacy with the Model Z. Alright, Area H's mid-boss is the first time I think we're going to see Model H's new charge attack with 2 biometal halves. If you hold up while releasing a second level charge, nice one. You can fire this giant electric tornado that constantly does damage, and it's pretty sizable damage as well.
Now, is that giant Meteor, Meteor, whatever you call it, is he just weak to electricity, or is he weak to every element?
I don't believe he's weak to electricity in particular. I think all of Model H's overdrive damage outputs are just that high.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any iframes, which makes it much easier to just combo the hits on him. You notice that Khanster was keeping that overdrive activated while the tornado was out. He was just dashing, and oh, this is a fun area. I like this area.
Yeah, it is really easy to die in, but yeah, that last area is a mess, but now we've made it to the boss. This is our first Model 2 boss, Purple. I believe the biometal is stored inside his giant arm, but fortunately it does not matter at all what level we get on Model PX. So Khanster's just going to be trying to triple slash and dash slash this guy as best he can. Purple does have some pretty heavy hitting attacks, and he can also temporarily go invincible, so he can be a problem sometimes. But Khanster's keeping up decently well here. Yeah. And finishes with level 2. Alright.
Not a particularly tough fight, just a really... it's a tricky fight to get down unless you have the manipulation right off the bat for it.
Alright.
Does that fight have a manipulation?
Fortunately, right in this next room, we're going to be able to confirm the mission, and we're going to be able to accept the second and last Model P mission, and that takes place in Area L, which, if you were paying attention, you were actually able to see the Area L1 door earlier, because that's actually part of Area H, which is interesting. So it happens to work out really nicely to do both of these missions right after another in a speedrun. The unfortunate part is that it does require us to backtrack through H3, which I think this area is a mess with these flying bugs in this section as well as the crane game section. But it does look really cool when you actually do have good movement here for once.
Yeah. Switching over to Model Z to take advantage of looks like he's taking advantage of the Charge Buster. Because that Buster, the Charge Buster, is extremely powerful to taking out enemies. So, very nice to have that just to plow through the enemies there. It's a 4-minute shot. I guess the Model H just doesn't have much in terms of like range if you need to attack further ahead. Going straight into Area L here, which is the last of the Pseudoroid areas that he'll be going through. After this will be the, I guess I don't know, I call it the Wily stages, but the final missions.
Yeah. Except that's not Wily.
Yeah.
It's soft, man.
So, another good thing about the Charge Buster is there's all these crates, all these barrels in the way that take a lot of hits to take down, and with the range that the Buster has, plus the Saber, you can just take it down, don't have to waste time climbing over everything. You can't even wall kick off the barrels there, so it's really important to destroy those. And then this section.
Right, in this section these satellites come into play. I don't remember which ones do which, but one of these satellites reverses your controls and also prevents you from dashing, which, ooh, looks like Khanster just got hit by it.
Yeah, that'll wear off.
And the other one basically disables you from attacking at all. So I guess the blue ones are reverse controls and the brown ones are no attacking.
Yeah, I guess if you want to get hit by any of them, it's going to be the no attacking since you still can dash. But
yeah, it's a tricky area for sure, but the ranged Model ZX Office is definitely the right choice for it. This area is also pretty tricky because you have these missiles falling down from the sky, and they can hit you at really bad times in this area. I've made that experience all too often. There are a bunch of platforms in this area in particular that are actually pass-through that may not seem like it. Sometimes you'll find hidden goodies in there, but sometimes it's actually just the easier path to take, even if not the more direct one.
There's one side quest in this game, mission in this game that is optional that takes you back to this area a ton to collect some health back.
Yeah. That's the last sub-tank. Ugh.
Some casual players become very familiar with this area. This boss coming up is what's his name again?
Protectos.
Protectos. He's the other Model P holder, and he is the boss screen. Basically, it revolves around him as he moves. It'll just around that. We're going to be using Model H's Tornado. Did already half a health damage, and then yeah, that's the other half. Level 1.
Yeah, we damage his biometal so much that we just always get a level 1 victory in this fight. It's like his weak spot is like his giant belly, so we just cover all of it with the tornado. And now I believe Khanster has a combined level 3 on Model P, but fortunately that never comes into play.
Yeah. So we finished the Pseudoroid missions. What was that, Chaos?
Talk about Tornado. Because his belly was hit a lot by that tornado.
Okay, we get another quick intermission here. We'll call it back to Area X1 briefly, and after we talk to Prairie in the command room here, we get access to the next mission, which is going to take us to Area M. And, yeah, if you remember, I mentioned earlier, Area M was the other one that we can access through that cave at the very beginning of A1. So that means we're going to be taking another trip through the green grasslands of Area A, and hopefully collecting a bunch of HX energy along the way.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. There's just this whole area again. I guess you've got Area M left. There's Area N, which is optional. You can go there if you want to fight I guess, essentially the super boss of the game. But after this mission is Area O, and then we go to the final stage. So these are... What do you call these? The Model W? There you go.
The final stages? Whatever you would like to call it, really.
I just call it, let me finish the game, please.
Fair.
More like, I want my revenge stages.
Again, making use of that wall canceling effect where you slash as you jump off the wall. Cancel that horizontal momentum backwards so you can get some movement. Collect some energy along the way, refill the sub-tanks. And we're now in Model M. Area M. You have a really long cutscene here. Fortunately, you can skip it because we're not in a new game, but it de-transforms you back into your human form. And we're going to make some menuing here where we're making the... Part of Model F is you can modify the Buster to go a certain direction. And so for both Busters, he modified that so that he can fight this guy, Storm Eagle's cousin, I guess is the canon name for him. And just shoot, and overdrive. He's dead.
Nice. That was a good pattern. I think this guy can really troll you with some of the attacks when he goes off-screen for extended periods of time, and sometimes he can stay out of reach for a while, but that was a really good and fast one cycle, I guess. Area M is pretty interesting. The next area actually has an interesting shortcut in the crawl space, but we're not going to be taking it because it actually turns out like you'd have to switch to Model F and then to human and then back, and it's actually faster to just go through this area regularly and then continue as usual here. This one has rising and lowering water. I believe it's possible to make it through this entire area without ever switching to Model L. But most people will opt to take the safety switch and just swim to the safe surface here.
Yeah, I saw the GDQ run, Tiki running it. He died in this area because he tried to do it, and it's pretty tight to get through the area. Maybe somebody says it's not tight, but based on that, it can be pretty tough, and I think it's intended like for casual to just go through with Model L.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
having to do the air dash with Model L is a little slower, and so go fast, go as fast as you can.
So is he playing on normal because he has the balls, or is there another reason? Because in easy, the spike won't be so pointy and they won't kill you.
That's a good question. It's I think normal is the most commonly run route, and so that's just kind of how it's done. This is Pandora, almost dead.
Yeah.
Thank you, Model
That was
H.
a quick fight. Pandora is not actually weak to Elec. She constantly switches between ice and thunder elements, but our Tornado just still does so much at base that plus a couple of powered up overdrive slashes do her in very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see right here, on the right is the door to N1, but we're actually never going to be taking that door.
Yeah, that's a completely
Instead,
optional area.
Yeah, now our mission is to go to Area O, which lies above Area D. I believe it's technically possible to access this immediately if you like hack yourself up here, but this ladder only appears now, and we cannot get a early legitimately. This area has an amazing theme, in my opinion.
I love
It's
the
really
music in this area.
atmospheric.
I could say that about the whole game, but I love the music in this area.
That is true, yeah.
So it's just a lot of smaller enemies, a lot of movement to do. I'm not sure why he killed that guy. But...
Energy is super important in this stage. You want a lot of energy for HX, for the upcoming mid-boss and the boss fight and just general enemies. There's also this little intermission where they throw cages on you again like they did in the first intermission, and here our model of choice is actually H, which with a single good triple slash and overdrive you can immediately kill those, but Khanster's currently trying to conserve energy because he didn't enter at full or even really close, sadly.
Yeah, so could either go for either strategy here. He's going to kill it eventually and be able to move on. Yeah. I don't even know if these guys drop anything, like if they have any drops to give.
Don't think so, but I'm not sure.
They also don't drop blood. Like, enemies drop blood this time. What happened? Because in the Zero game, robots drop blood all the time.
We've got this fiery area.
Yeah, this section can be tricky. If you are a scrub like me, or I guess Khanster, you can go in here and refill your health using this teleporter, despite never actually using it for teleporting. It's a really nice safety strat that costs barely any time, but of course, if you want to get a good time, you can just go through this healing only using on-the-way pickups, your sub-tank, or whatever you find.
Okay, see a man and walk on fire.
So this is the mid-boss from Area J making a return. I don't think we really ever got the time to explain it. It sends out these tentacles towards you. If it sends out these crystal blue tentacles, you cannot actually hurt it. And it has a bunch of patterns for the various brown and yellow tentacle attacks. You can get really creative here and do some dash slashing into triple slash stuff and even work with the wall a bunch. But currently it seems like it's not going so well for Khanster, so he's switching to LX to once again conserve energy, I assume.
Yeah. And I had to correct myself earlier. I said the first one was the one without the manipulation. This one was. It's opposite. This one doesn't have a manipulation. It's worse to deal with because of those blue tentacles that come out. It's like...
Right, so we're basically at the end of Area O here. The upcoming boss fight, so in the first intermission we've done Prometheus, in the second one we've done Pandora, and now we're actually going to be fighting both of them at once, or at least that's what's intended by the game. What we're actually just going to do is exploit Prometheus's ridiculous fire weakness, or, sorry, his elect weakness as a fire boss, and we're basically not going to see Pandora if all goes well.
Oh, a little bit of lock time lost. But yeah, this
A
boss
little
has 3
messed up,
health
but
bars
that's
as
fine.
opposed to the regular 2 because it's a combined boss there. And you can
Yeah.
basically just wipe out all of the life bars on Pandora there. Not Pandora, Prometheus.
Yeah, you can really just focus your attacks on Prometheus, and then both of them will die, and you get to move on. And now, the last mission. We're actually going to go back to Area D once again. And so far we've seen D1, 2, and 3. We were actually very close to the final stages this entire time. You get to access D4 right here with this tower. This is the Slivering building, which is like this huge, supposedly security company that's honestly really shady, and even the main protagonist notices that super early on. This stage is where the refights take place. So that's gonna be interesting. Between that, there's always an elevator ride, so not much to talk about here.
What was that, Chaos?
Let's call it what it is. Boss rush! Because it is a boss rush.
It is a boss rush, yes.
Yeah.
It's got a boss rush with elevator rides in between, and you can't skip the elevator rides because even if you manage to skip it, you still have to have the platform go all the way to the top. So, the first set of fights is going to be the Model H fights, and Model L is going to be the ideal candidate for taking them out because Ice is strong against Thunder. So we'll see how these go pretty well. We don't care about rank because, bringing out the Ice Dragon.
Oh, getting
Got him.
fancy here.
So regardless of the level, it doesn't matter because you don't get a model at the end of these fights anymore. So take out their biometals, just dent them like crazy.
Yeah.
What a killing kill.
Alright, let's see if we can get a proper rematch on the Huracan fight here. It didn't go so well the first time. Huracan kind of trolled by going up in the way with her tornado attacks, but seems like Khanster is pinning her to the ground this time. Ran out of energy. That's
Oh
unfortunate.
dear. Hopefully he doesn't do his other attack because that takes a lot of time. Okay, good. So he can do an
Yeah.
attack where he just goes to the middle of the screen and just tornadoes in the middle. And that
that's super annoying, yeah.
just takes a lot of time
Fortunately, it
there.
still went decent, all things considered. Running out of energy for Alex is interesting because really, we don't pick up too much energy for it. Like, when we're not on a model, or we are on a model that has full energy, the game, like, auto-assigns the weapon energy to go in the order of H, F, L, and P. So, like, if you were on ZX or full HX, it would go in that order to distribute any additional energy. And Model L is near the end of that list, so we never really pick up that much energy for it intentionally in the run.
So yeah, these are the Model L fights here. We're going to go to Lurere first.
Can't carry a charge into these, can you?
Nope, you have to start it without the charge. So that's another thing to keep in mind with refight, since they will use different strategies. And you have to keep in mind weapon conservation. Let's see if he just going to punch him and get chomped. That does a lot of damage. He's got 6 lives, wow.
Wow.
Level 3.
Yeah, that can sometimes happen if the ref fight goes slightly wrong. It's not that big a deal here, but Model F energy can definitely be tight on these Model L refights. You can see he drained over half of his energy bar full array, and he still has the other one to go. So, I have to be a little careful here.
We got this fight here. We've got... I can never remember this guy's name.
Leg anchor. That went well, fortunately.
Yeah, it's real quick.
It
Do
is
I
a
find
weird
this-
name.
We've got
Sneaking
time for a
donation?
donation. We've got some farming to do here, or possibly just some hallways, so go right ahead.
All right. Well, we have a $3 donation from Tempest Mask 1000, who says, "I figured that now was as good a time as ever to donate to Game Over Cancer. Mega Man ZX was one of my favorite games growing up, with Arquia's powers and so on. Here are $3 in hopes we get a third game someday. Good luck, Khanster. You rock on." And Tempest, if you want to direct that to Mickey or Minnie for our one remaining donation for the Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie, feel free. Mickey is currently $49.62 behind. And yeah, let us know in chat.
Yeah, another elevator. They're becoming increasingly more difficult. They're not too bad. They're just a lot of enemies, and I guess if your health is low, you got to keep an eye on it. But it's a good opportunity to kill the enemies, farm some extra energy. ZX is a good way to do that, just because one, you already have it go through the hallway, and second, it diverts energy automatically to the next one, which is going to be Model H. So these are the Model F fights here. The first one is Fislio. I actually remembered the name.
Yeah.
Going to use pretty much the same strat. No, he can't go in with a charge, so he's got to be improvising here. That's a good improvisation.
Yep, that's exactly what you want to see when you can start off with charge.
Yeah, and it's
Basically,
really
pin him down with an air slash instead of the ball, and then do the dash slash triple slash combo as usual. And hopefully, we'll see the exact same thing on Flammo.
So nice to not have to worry about the level ranks here, and that was a great quick kill there.
Yeah.
So fantastic so far.
The combo system in this game is pretty elaborate, actually, for at least the Saber-based models. So you can do some really wacky stuff if you know how to.
It's interesting how iframes work in this game too, because normally when you slash them, they just go straight into iframes and not much else can damage them. But if you hit them with another weapon ability of some kind, like if you're doing the triple slash, that'll hit through even though they're 3 separate slashes. Sometimes if you go in with a buster and then the slashes, you're good on that too. The iframes won't trigger, so.
Yeah, it's pretty elaborate. It's like every attack has a set priority value, and I believe if you just hit the boss in iframes with...
Oh!
Intentional!
Ah, that's unfortunate. That is super unfortunate because it means we're gonna have to do this elevator ride again.
That's a shame.
But yeah, I believe if the boss is currently in iframes, but you hit them with another attack that has a higher assigned priority value, you'll essentially just override their iframes, and that's how they made Saber combos work in these games. Because, like, I think they started doing this from the Zero series onwards after they realized in X4, 5, and 6, for instance, that you could just always only do the first slash and never put the boss in iframes and defeat them ridiculously quickly, as we do with SDCing in those games.
Mm-hmm. So right now he's fighting Protecto. Basically the same strategy as before. Just tornado him. Watch him just strut around the room. Take it easy. Oh, he forgot overdrive. So you see all that flashing red? That's how damaged the biometal is.
Yeah.
If Model P wasn't there, he would go, ow.
Alright, so this should be the very last refight. This is Pepperell. You can opt to go back to Model ZX on this fight. It looks like Khanster's gonna stay on HX. But you do want to be switching to ZX soon for the upcoming hallways, I believe. And there is also a small manip you can do for additional Model H energy if you do. Obviously, I'm not sure what strat Khanster goes for, but hey, level 3 finish.
Yeah, he's going to want that energy, especially coming up onto Model W here.
Yeah.
Fighting that two-parter, where the second part is 3 parts. So.
Alright, so you come in here through this door with a half charge on the Buster ZX, and that actually guarantees you a weapon drop from that Pantheon, or I believe they're called Galleons in this series. This hallway is super dangerous and easy to die in. The most important thing is not to panic, really. Khanster doing it well here, and picking up the data disk.
I think there's something else in there too.
Okay.
There was an energy drop.
Interesting.
This is the last part you can really farm.
Yeah, this is, I always make sure that my sub-tank is full here, and that I have full energy on H, which I assume Khanster's doing the same thing. Because the upcoming final fight is definitely not easy.
It's one fight that you can do it. It can be hard, like especially phase 1, but you also want to have it high energy so you can just make a quick fight. You don't have to deal with the longer
Khanster's
phases.
not getting a lot of energy right now. It is possible to split big health pickups as well with the Saber, and then receive at least one small energy, but...
I think the big health, the medium
he's just not
health
getting any
doesn't
natural
get the
weapon
small
drops.
energy.
Okay, we're almost full. Is that... okay.
Let's give
Alright,
it a
so
try.
this is Serpent Model W. This guy has 3 or I guess 4 phases in total, depending on how you want to count it. The first one is still somewhat humanoid and mostly fights ground based. Has some interesting combat moves. Mostly specializes in melee and has a weird counter attack. Khanster's making this look pretty easy, but this guy can actually put up a real fight as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of reading going on in the fight, making sure that you know what attack he's doing and reacting appropriately. Here's the final boss.
That's it. You killed my fire. Now you die.
So this phase of Serpent basically has 3 individual separate phases. That's phase 1. They all die pretty quickly to an overdrive tornado with H, so it's important you have a lot of energy to make these. And then you do need a couple more slashes to send them into the next phase respectively. Time's going to be coming up very soon as Final Serpent's health hits 0. Although for the leaderboard we use in-game time anyway. Oh, that's bad.
He has some another annoying part about this fight. You want to make it quick because he can just go invulnerable on some of these, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta wait it out.
But this phase, only that crystal in the middle is vulnerable, so...
He's out of energy, so
Khanster's
he's gotta
low on
switch.
HX energy, so he opts to switch to ZX. He does also have that healing move in this phase, which is really annoying.
It's okay, we've got sub-tanks.
Yeah. And I think this little fairy dust or whatever also hinders your jumps. So this phase of Serpent can really be annoying, especially as the very last one, where you usually come in with little energy. And time! I believe that's it for
GG.
Mega Man ZX.
GG, no we.
GG, Khanster. Well done.
You want to know your time, Khanster?
I believe the in-game time still continues ticking down during all these cutscenes, but
Yeah.
let's see what it is.
107? 106.36.
Hey, is that a PB?
That,
Wow,
I think, is a PB.
that's
Congratulations.
amazing. Good job.
He got just for real-time purposes, he got a 106.23, so not too far off, counting that credit sequence there. The timing is very accurate for the ZX games.
Yeah,
so.
in-game time is almost not different if you like mash the ending cutscenes away.
And yeah, timing normally would end after the credits, but it's a marathon, so we're just gonna call it there. All right, so that was Mega Man ZX. Is Khanster okay to come in and chat and say a few words to reflect his feelings?
Of course, if you'd like to.
How do you feel,
How do
Khanster?
you feel about your PB, on man?
That was a run. It was a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh man, good job.
The
Yeah,
funny thing
congratulations.
is,
That was an amazing
I
watch, for sure.
PB'd the other day, and I just PB'd again.
Well
PB
done.
was better, this one or the past one?
The other one was offline, so I have a recording now.
Yeah, good job.
Congratulations.
Gee.
The one thing I will say is, due to the collection, it has actually made a lot of people pick up this game, and if you're hesitant about picking it up, it's a good time to pick it up. We've got a thriving community, and it's a perfect time.
Yep, go to megamanleaderboards.net, go to the Discord, and join up and watch all 195 tutorial videos.
Apparently, I was very quiet. I was informed I was very quiet, so I'm gonna repeat that. it's a very good time to pick up this game. We have a great Discord. It's a great opportunity to pick this up because of the collection, and it's an overall great speed game.
Yeah. And even if you don't want to speed run it, I think the games are a great experience casually as well. And you get bundled all the Zero series and the entire ZX series on top of that in a single collection. So if you're at all interested, definitely check it out.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. And Khanster, awesome run of Mega Man ZX. Coming up next on Game Over Cancer, we are going to have Revenge of the Bird King by Fox of the Flame.